How's it going, Rebels? I'm Burning with ASG, and today we're talking about a major upcoming event called Revenge. Now, there's been a lot of rumors, speculation, theories, a whole lot of stuff's been thrown around on the forums, Facebooks, even in-game about what we might be getting ourselves into this time around, so I've been holding off until some really good hot evidence has come out, and it actually just so happens we got all of the prize details today. So what I'm going to do is just go over some of them, my theories, thoughts of how they're going to be beneficial to us, and things of that nature. Now, what you're looking at here, I'm actually doing my daily for the Blood Amber, which is to attack any player over level 40, or 3 players' fleets over level 40, and honestly, I don't really want to get any of my fleets really badly damaged, because the event's coming up, and I don't really want to spend my coins having to try to repair them really quick, because some of them can be, very time consuming. So, just as a little side tip, what I like to do is, if I can't really afford to get my fleets really damaged by going up against a player. If you go up against an active player, they might call backup and all shit breaks loose, or all hell breaks loose. So what I'll do is I'll find a player who has got at least a level 40 or higher guard fleet, which the player's not on at the time. I'll attack their guard fleet, the AI is controlling their guard fleet, and boom, easy kill. So these are just me completing my Blood Amber while I discuss the event. Now, what I want to first start into is the fact of some of the massive rumors that have been coming out for this one. Since we know the prizes, we know a lot of the rumors, well, they're just not true. One of the big ones was the event prize is specifically going to be the Vega Conflict's new carrier. Or, it's not really new anymore, but the carrier. It was going to be one of the prizes this time around. Honestly, kind of glad it's not, because we don't really need another carrier. But I would like a new carrier skin. Like, the Ragnarok is cool and everything, but it's... The Vegas are always cooler. They've always got way better looking stuff than we do. You know what I mean? So, that's one rumor that's kind of been out there that I thought was cool, but I'm glad it didn't turn out. But unfortunately, what we are getting isn't entirely better. So, I want to jump right on into the ship that we're going to get. It's called the Machete Destroyer, and it should be popping up on the screen right about now. Now, this thing is actually pretty interesting. It's basically, well, honestly, I don't really think it's, if you look at the classification, it's classified as epic, and I don't really think that's a really good classification of it. Because, in all honesty, it only has 2 attack slots, no shields, couple armor slots. This is definitely the Iron Core, or Iron, whatever the hell that company is. This is definitely one of their ships. No shields, hardly any armor. Honestly, I'm really disappointed in this ship. This is not an in-game ship. This ship is more mid-tier level. Now, with that being said, I don't think anyone's going to have an issue getting to mid-tier this time around. Why do I say that? This time around, the Vegas are once again going to be able to attack our bases. That's right. Back in Reclamation 2.0, I'm really hoping that the Vega fleets are also going to be like 2.0, not 1.0. But that's right, the Vegas are going to be able to attack our bases, so you better get those, at least to go something. You better have something ready for when they attack, because that's where you're going to earn the majority of your points, is from the Vegas attacking your base. Now, that's not to say you're not going to earn anything from attacking Vegas. No, not at all. Probably I'd say about half and half, honestly, but the easiest thing is when they attack your base, because our bases are more heavily fortified. Now, here's the thing. While I'm on the topic of bases, I actually heard another rumor. This was a very interesting one that I hope gets implemented later on into the game. I heard the rumor that possibly we could be getting revenge on Vega by attacking, there's that big space station on every planet, and it's Vega controlled. It's where all of the little cargo Vegas on planet go to before they turn into the big cargo Vegas that go into the wormholes. Well, the theory was that we would be able to attack that, and I think that is awesome. I hope Kexai is working on that, because it would be really awesome if we could attack those things. Like, for example, now, there's not a lot of big players on each planet, unless you're a big alliance, but there are plenty of planets within a solar system. It would be nice if we could attack them every 5 or 6 hours, and we could get, massive, either special blueprints for our base or whatnot, just as a throwing a theory out there for that, and that would be pretty cool to me. But on back to the event itself. So they will be able to attack us again, so you gotta be ready for that. But I do actually like the sub prizes, the other two. Basically, one is a combination. Now, I want to also separate that. On my last video, I actually was talking about how, our projectile-based weaponry, they're not getting really any love, But it turns out Kexai is gonna get the little throw a little something their way, because not only are both weapons projectile based, but one I'm really looking forward to getting, and it's the phased magnet. Now this thing basically is how the name entails, it's both phased and iridium magnets combined. Now typically that wouldn't be too great of a thing, because you usually need 4 or 5 of either one for them to be really effective, but I've already thought about how I can really implement them, simply because I think that, how can I put it, I feel like they would be good on APOCs, specifically not with the wave drivers, but with just the phase drivers, the ones that pass through ships. I think that they might actually work fairly well with those. Now, that's just a theory. Might be wrong, might be right. Who knows? By the way, I'd like to point out that I'm actually really loving the Gatling rays on my Furies. Now, they're not really too adequate right now. Still tweaking them a little bit here and there, but they've done fairly well in some actual combat situations against real players. So, they're working out pretty good right now. So, if those of you who have heard some bad things about Furies, maybe reconsider. Because the Furies can hold more, I find those tier 3 Gatlings are actually fairly well. I mean, I feel like the tier 3s are about where the tier 2s should have been, and because I can fit them on my Furies, they work out fairly well. Now, the next prize event is a new interceptor wing for our base. Honestly, I'm not really going for that, and here's why. Now, if you don't have any kind of drones for squadrons, shut up. I know who you're saying, shut up. I think drones sounds cooler. Why do I think it? Because they're drones. I mean, I'm American. We drone things. No, point being, if you don't have squadrons for your base or whatever, get them. I mean, the tier 3s do 96% damage. They've got farther range than our current explosive based squadrons, so that'd be pretty good if you don't have anything at all. Now, why am I not going after them? Because the tier 2 explosive based squadrons do more damage. They do about 110 damage DPS, I think. So I'm not too interested in those, because I feel like, for me personally, the previous squadrons did far more damage, and their range was more than acceptable for basically for what they were. So I'm not really too interested in them. I might get one, but I'm probably going to stick straight to phase magnet, honestly. I think that's the best direction for me to go. Now, this event, honestly, I'm really looking forward to, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping it's going to be closer to Reclamation 2.0 rather than Reclamation 1.0, because we all try to repress Reclamation 1, the memory of Reclamation 1.0 and how hard that started. I mean, I'm really hoping it takes a far better turn than that. It's nice to have a really big event, but what I would really like is a new projectile weapon. I'm liking that we're getting the combination, which makes me think that we're probably going to get a combination of for the explosive where, the radius is increased as well as the spread is increased. That's pretty much, guaranteed for the future, but honestly, we don't really need that, because who uses the spread? Really, who uses the spread? And if you do, tell me why, because I just never have a use for the spread. I thought about putting it on the little creeper torps, but it just spread them out too much. I just feel like there's better stuff for them, but I'm kind of getting off topic with that. So, all in all, looking forward to the event. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Are you excited about this event? Are you looking forward to it? Yay, nay, maybe so, maybe not. One last thing I want to point out about the Furies, I love how if you have the special thrusters, the dual thrusters on there, I wish they would create a second set of dual thrusters, not only for forward maneuvering, but for strafing, like decreased turning ability, or either like strafing and turning ability. Like, give us the 3 combinations, the triangle factor there for those. I think that would be pretty interesting, being able to strafe fairly decent with acceptable turning radius, but with slow forward speed. I don't know, is that just me? But I think that would be pretty cool. Alright, Rebels, that's gonna pretty much wrap up this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something from it. I hope it's been informative in some kind of way, and I hope you haven't got annoyed of me too bad. Anyways, I'm Burning DM. Later, Rebels.
We are going to play a typical number.